Meet Fan Bingbing, a Chinese actress and pop star who starred in movies like X-Men. In May 2018, it was leaked that she tried to evade paying taxes on an upcoming movie. A month later, she disappeared from the public eye for 3 months. When she came back, she apologized for her behavior and announced that she had been fined over $120 million. Now whenever she's in public, she's usually glorifying the Chinese state and thanking them for making her, quote, calm down and think seriously, end quote. But she's not the only celebrity that's disappeared after disobeying the Chinese government. October 15, 2015 was the last day Gui Minghai spoke to any of his friends or family. 2 days later, CCTV cameras outside his home in Thailand caught him leaving with an unknown man. And then he was never heard from again for nearly a month. On November 6, Gui contacted his wife and said he was safe but didn't want to share his location. Thailand has no record of Gui ever leaving the country. He was taken from his home by Chinese officers. What had he done to annoy the Chinese state? Gui was a prolific author and publisher who owned shares in Causeway Bay Books in Hong Kong. He often published gossip books about Chinese politics and Chinese political figures. Dangerous topic. 3 months after his disappearance, a video was aired where Gui apparently admitted to illegal business operations. He said he had given himself up to Chinese law enforcement and was prepared to allow justice to be served in China. 2 years after disappearing, Gui was finally released in October 2017. Then just 3 months later, he was taken again. He released another apology, and in 2020 he was sentenced to 10 years in jail for providing intelligence overseas. The scariest part? Gui was only one of 5 men who vanished in a string of incidents known as the Causeway Bay Books disappearances. Meet Vicky Zhao. She's one of the most popular movie stars in China, is also a pop singer, and has an estimated net worth of $1 billion. She's been in some of the biggest Chinese box office hits and is regarded by many as mainland China's first ever national idol. The problem was, her and other Chinese celebrities started letting their fame get to their head just a little bit too much. They were flaunting their wealth and lifestyle on social media, which went directly against China's socialist ideals. In other words, Chinese celebrities were starting to act a little bit too much like American celebrities. They were basically blasting Western materialism and individualism onto the Chinese public. They were, quote, leading young people astray and away from the ideals of the Communist Party. And Vicky Zhao was the poster child for everything wrong with celebrity culture in China. So the government launched a new wave of policies nicknamed Xi Jinping's Common Prosperity Campaign. And in an instance, every single movie and TV show that featured Vicky Zhao vanished from the streaming platforms in China, along with her social media account with over 86 million followers. Her name was wiped from the Chinese internet. And then the billionaire actress was never heard from again. This would be the equivalent of the US government making Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner disappear. This was back in August 2021, and the message was clear. No one was too wealthy or too popular for the Chinese government. Today, many believe she's under house arrest. Whatever the case may be, she seems to have learned her lesson and has been silent on social media. Then there's the latest victim, Peng Shuai, the Chinese tennis superstar. At 35 years old, she had been playing tennis professionally for over 15 years. She was a 3-time Olympian, won 25 tour titles, and ranked first in the world for women's double tennis in 2014. She was a Chinese media darling, proof that China could compete with the rest of the world and produce global champions. On November 2, 2021, Peng Shuai uploaded a blog post on Weibo, a popular Chinese social media site, and less than a half hour later, the post disappeared. And so did Peng Shuai. Her social media went silent, people tried calling or contacting her but never heard back, and no one saw her in public for weeks. What did she do to deserve such a fate? This is the disturbing disappearance of China's tennis superstar. As business-minded people, a lot of us assume that the obstacle standing in our way is also business-related. I just need to land the right client. I just need this many more sales, etc. But ask any real entrepreneur and they'll tell you that 90% of this game is mental, and only 10% of it comes from the tangible things. And yet in society, we have fitness coaches, but having a mental coach is strange and cringy. Why isn't it socially acceptable to have a mind coach? Well, that's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is an online platform available everywhere that allows you to connect directly with the right therapist for you, from a pool of over 20,000 licensed professionals. BetterHelp is not a crisis line or a self-help service, it's a secure way to get professional therapy anytime, anywhere. Here's how it works. First, you explain what kind of therapy you're looking for, like individual or couple therapy. Then you provide your gender, age, location, and the issues you want to work on. From there, you get matched with your own therapist, and you start talking with them within 48 hours through phone calls, video calls, or texts. And boom, you're ready to start improving your life. Once you've been paired with a therapist, you can contact them anytime and schedule weekly sessions. And if your first therapist isn't the perfect match, that's okay because BetterHelp makes it free and easy to switch therapists anytime you want. The best part is, BetterHelp is way more affordable than traditional therapy, and financial aid is also available. Become part of the over 1 million people improving their mental health on BetterHelp by going to betterhelp.com/JakeTran to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/JakeTran with the link below. Thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Peng Shuai became a tennis star when she was really young. Her first real shot at fame came in 2014 when she won the Wimbledon women's double title. Wimbledon is the tennis, what the Super Bowl is the football, so her win was a pretty big deal. For years, she appeared at national sports events, represented China at tournaments, and spent her time keeping as low of a profile as possible considering how famous she was in China. That was until November 2nd, 2021, when Peng logged onto Weibo and posted a long message spilling the details of an affair she had with a Chinese politician named Zhang Jie-li. Zhang Jie-li used to be the senior vice premier of the Chinese State Council, an extremely powerful man. He retired in 2017, and according to Peng, they had an on and off relationship for over 7 years. But that wasn't the most shocking part of this post. Peng Shuai went on to describe a meeting she had with Zhang in 2018. By then, the pair had been separated for a while. He invited her to have dinner with him and his wife, and she agreed. But when she arrived, Zhang allegedly tried pressuring her to sleep with him. According to Peng, she quote did not consent that afternoon and cried the whole time, end quotes. After dinner, she said she finally gave in and agreed to Zhang's demands. Peng wrote that the trauma had left her feeling like a walking corpse. The Weibo post instantly went viral. People screenshotted the message, sent it around to their friends, news agencies got interested. But then less than half an hour after it was posted, the whole message was deleted. Web searches mentioning Peng, Zhang, or even tennis were censored on the Chinese internet, and people started immediately fearing for Peng's safety. The Weibo post disappeared, then so did Peng. She didn't communicate on social media, no one could contact her outside of China, she had been wiped off the face of the earth. When journalists asked Chinese spokesmen about her, they just answered different versions of "I don't know" or "it's not my business." The private accounts of people who shared Peng's posts were suspended, there was an internet blackout on all things Peng Shuai related, and people started getting seriously worried. Even famous tennis players like Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams started posting with the hashtag "Where's Peng Shuai?" All over Western news, headlines kept asking the same question: what happened to Peng Shuai? Just like so many other Chinese celebrities before her, she reappeared just as suddenly as she disappeared. People started reporting sightings of Peng Shuai out in public, and Chinese state-run media released photos and videos of Peng going on with her life, proving that she was totally fine. Chinese media even tweeted a video of her eating with her friends and coach in a restaurant. The coach repeated 3 times that the next day would be November 21st, trying to prove without a doubt that this video was current and real. Peng, however, didn't say a word during the whole thing. At one point, selfies of Peng in her apartment went viral when people noticed a picture of Winnie the Pooh in the background. Winnie the Pooh had been banned in China for years because people started comparing Xi Jinping to him. For some, the picture of Winnie the Pooh was just a coincidence, but for others, it was a sign of distress. Peng Shuai was probably still under house arrest, and that these pictures were just a way to get the International Tennis Associations off their back. But it didn't work. Everyone just got more worried, demanding to see real proof she was okay. So Chinese state-run media shared a suspicious email from Peng Shuai to the head of the Women's Tennis Association. "Hello everyone, this is Peng Shuai. The allegation of sexual assault is not true. I'm not missing, nor am I unsafe. I've just been resting at home and everything is fine. Thank you again for caring about me." One of the problems with this statement is that if you look a little closely, you can see the text cursor half blinking right here, suggesting that this email was never sent because you can't edit someone else's email that they sent you, and that the person who wrote the statement was also the person who posted it, also known as the Chinese state-run media. Because none of these efforts assured people Peng was safe, China had to go one step further. China is hosting the 2022 Winter Olympics, and having a disappearing athlete on their hands could make for some trouble. A few weeks after her disappearance, members of the International Olympic Committee said that they spoke to Peng over video and that she was fine and resting at home. They didn't release the video or have any proof of what she said, and the Chinese politician Zhang Jieli happens to be good friends with the president of the International Olympic Committee. America proceeded to announce a boycott of the Winter Games based on Chinese human rights abuses, and other countries quickly followed. Actual pressure was mounting. China had to provide some real proof soon. So a few weeks later, a journalist claimed she ran into Peng Shuai at a skiing event. During her interview, Peng said she never accused Zhang of abuse and that she never disappeared. Everything was fine. She was free to go wherever she wanted and she was definitely not under house arrest. But she made sure to say all of this only after the camera was rolling.
可能跟你聊两句，我看您刚才跟这个姚明啊，他们都还聊得挺开心的。今天是怎么会到这儿来的？
你是在视频是吗？
啊，是，我是新加坡联合早报。现在是住在家里吗？
对，一直都住在家里。
哦，一直都住在家里，出入自由吗？就是会有人来监视啊，或者是怎么样吗？
为什么会有人监视？一直都很自由。
CGTN 在这个推特上面发了一个英文的那个电子邮件，说您给 WTA 的主席发了一封电邮信，里边说这个性侵的这个事实是不真实的，是这样吗？这封电邮是您自己写的吗？
我觉得你这是几个问题啊。首先我要强调一点是非常重要的，我从未说过写过任何人性侵我，这一点是要非常强调清楚的啊。然后关于微博，首先呢是我个人隐私的问题，然后关于你刚才说这个WTA 的这个新闻，对，
这个电邮是您自己写的吗？
中文我回复给 WTA CEO 先生西蒙本人的这个信都是我这个本人所写，然后当然英文我没有我的英文水平不够就是我没有办法能够把中文译成英文，所以中文完全是我本人写的。然后刚才那个
CGTN 的 Twitter 的英文是翻译版本，
但是意思和我回复西蒙先生本人的这个邮件几乎是没有任何这个信息差异的。
This was Peng Shuai's apology, her retraction, her making sure that China and the rest of the world would believe her story. Ever since then, things seem to have returned to normal. But like all the other celebrities that disappeared, Peng has been lying low ever since. As Niccolo Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than to be loved, if one cannot be both. And for the Chinese government, this is just a way to keep their celebrities in a state of fear, to remind them that at any second, if they step out of line, if they propagate a culture the government isn't fond of, all their success, all their hard work can be taken away from them at the click of a mouse and at the hands of a few men with guns.